Good morning, everyone. Hello, crafty friends. How are we doing on this Friday? Friday the 13th of December. Kind of crazy. Usually we get a little bit superstitious around Friday the 13th on Halloween, but nothing superstitious about today. Just inching ever closer to the holidays. Everybody ready? Getting ready? Feeling excited? I did something last night that put me in the holiday spirit. You'll see it up close here on today's live, but you'll notice I have red on my nails.
Love it.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was telling Susan, she's here today, so if you hear the voice in the background, today it's Susan. And I was yes, good morning, Susan. And I was telling her that it's very rare that I put red on my nails. So I've been looking down at my hands thinking, whose hands are those? Oh, they're mine. So anybody else into red nails for Christmas? I did think about kind of extending into January because we have our Valentine's release at the very beginning of January. So these red nails might be able to hang on for our Valentine release too. So anyway, let me know you are hopping on today. I would love to say hello. I also should make a little mention about my merry and bright sweatshirt. Feeling very merry as we get a little closer to the holidays. So I hope the same is true for all of you. Let me say hello to a few people that you're hopping on here. Hello out in Huntington Beach. Marilyn is here. We have Marsha and Carol. Hello. It's hard to read these names really small. Hi, Carrie. I shouldn't even admit that. It's happening.
No, that's my life right there.
Yes, and I don't want to admit yet that I need probably some glasses, but I'm holding on. So good morning, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Barbara's here. We have Jan and Robin and Mary. All right, well, do you know why you're here today? If you're tuning in by chance and you don't know why I'm live on a Friday, normally it's Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, but all through December, I am live on Friday as well to talk about our Advent calendar. So we put out a fun little gift for you each day to open in December leading up to Christmas. And then on Fridays, we get to come together and I will be opening the gifts on the live. We'll be talking about kind of why we put each of them in there, a little bit of the backstory, maybe why our team decided to develop the product that's in there. And then we get to craft together to create with all of those new things. So that's why we're here today, and I'm super excited about it. So let's get started. Should we? Sound good,
Yay!
Susan?
Woo-hoo!
Okay. Hello from the chilly neighbor up or over to the west in Nebraska. Yes, Jessica, it is chilly.
Yes.
And we got a powdered sugar dusting of snow yesterday. I remember Rachel, I think it was, came into product development and said, it looks like powdered sugar is falling from the sky. It was so pretty. But yeah.
It was like we were in a snow globe with all of our windows in here.
It was like a snow globe. We have such great view to the outside, so it was just that really soft falling snow, and now it's gone.
Yep.
That's the kind of snow that I prefer. So I do think, have you heard we're supposed to have a snowstorm? Tonight, I
We
know.
have an advisory.
Okay,
Yeah,
a
stay
weather
home tonight.
advisory. If
Yes.
you're local around here, stay home
Be
tonight.
careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be icy, they're saying. Like
Oh.
a quarter of an inch of ice in the
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'll think back lovingly to the powdered sugar dusting that we had a few days ago because ice is not my favorite part of winter.
Nope.
Okay, so we're going to be opening envelope number 7 through 13 and then crafting with the goodies inside. So let's see what's in number 7. Whoop whoop! We have this lovely heart-shaped stamp as we all get ready. As I mentioned, Valentine's Day is kind of the next thing that we think about after Christmas. And sometimes you got to start thinking about it before Christmas. So we have included some products. If you've already opened, you know that this week is kind of themed towards the upcoming Valentine's Day holiday. So this is a heart-shaped stamp. It has the word or the letters XOXO in a script font that are etched into the solid rubber. So the heart itself stays the color that you stamp it, and then the words are whatever color cardstock you have stamped on. So I'm going to show you some fun things you can do with this. It might seem simple. It's a heart, but there are so many ways you can use this by itself and with the other products that are in your envelope. So let's set that up here at the top. I might use that today. And then we have number 8. This one is thin. How many of you?
A lot of love the stamp.
We're loving the stamp. Oh, good.
Yeah.
How many of you are feelers? Do you feel the envelopes before you open them? Susan's shaking her head no, but I know we have lots of people who touch and smush and try to guess before they open it.
Nice.
So this one isn't too tough to guess. So let's open up number 8. Oh yes, hi Barb. Barb says it's a great day or a great night to stay home and watch volleyball. Barb and I are both big volleyball fans, and it is the NCAA Division I National Tournament. So I think we're in the Sweet. I know, Sweet 16 this weekend. Go Nebraska, go Big Red. I know Barb's not going to like that, but I had to give that shout out. All right, envelope.
Sure I like that.
Envelope number 8 is the coordinating die for the heart. So we're going to use this in quite a few different ways today, and I did want to make special mention that this die, it exactly matches the heart. So I'm going to give you guys a tip. There is a reason why we did it that way because of another subsequent product that it coordinates with, but I'm going to show you some perfect ways to get that die cut because it can be a little tough to line it up when it is designed to exactly match the stamp. So there you have the coordinating heart die to go with the stamp. Looks like we have some squishers, some touchers. Oh yes, I love we have some other volleyball fans out there. We've got Deneen, part of the Go Big Red, and Monica, Go Cats. That's fun.
Did you say it's during the day?
There is one at 1 p.m. today, and then there's 7 p.m. tonight. So there's 4 games today.
Wow.
Yes.
She's going to be busy.
All right, we have number 9. And if you were a squisher, hopefully you didn't squish these to the point that they got dented. But this is your next gift is a heart-shaped bubble shaker. These have the adhesive already on them. They are exclusively designed for Tailored Expressions in the exact size that we wanted. There are some super fun things you can do with these. You can make cards, of course. They are pretty thick, so we did that intentionally with the Valentine holiday coming up so that you could put things like candy in them to make a little candy gift. So let me get out my handy dandy ruler here and just give you an idea. They are half an inch, about a half an inch, maybe a little tiny bit less than a half an inch depth on that heart. So you won't be able to put these in the mail unless you're mailing them in with another package. But you can give them away as little candy gifts or hand them to people or put them in a box that you're sending.
I love Rachel's guess. She
What?
With a cookie cutter.
Rachel thought it felt like a cookie cutter, but I knew that wasn't right. So she did know that we don't make cookie cutters yet here at Tailored Expressions. So, all right, so we have those 3 products. You can see they all coordinate nicely together. I can't wait to show you what I created with them. So let's take a look at number 10. Number 10, if you were a guesser, you could have guessed that we would include some kind of fun embellishment that you could put inside of your shaker, but I'm actually going to show you a few different ways to use this today. I'm really liking the option of putting candy in here and making this something you can pop the back open and take your candies out. I do have a card that shows these little shaker bits inside of our bubble. But I'm going to show you another fun way to use these today as well. Actually, before I open this little pot, I'm going to bring my dish in that I already have these dumped out. You can see we've got X's and O's. Anybody else a fan of what is her name now?
El King.
El King, yes.
Yeah.
El King sings the song X's and O's. So if you haven't heard that song, it has been in my head all week. Ever since we made these, it's kind of been rolling around, and especially as I've been creating with this cute little mix of X's and O's and hearts and sprinkles.
And luckily, I love this song, and El King.
Yeah.
Singing it all week.
Luckily, Susan loves the song because I have been singing it too much, probably. All right, now we have number 11. Let's open this up and take a look. All right, how many of you were confused by what this lump of goodness is? I have to say it's not the prettiest candy, but it is one of the best candies that I have ever tasted. So let me tell you kind of the backstory of this gift. We have one of our wonderful customers came to Stamp Joy, I think it wasn't this past year, but the year before, and she brought us several cases of these, and our team loved them. They are called, well, I can kind of open the wrapper here. They're called the Texas Chewy. So they are from a company called Lamb's Candies, and it's spelled Lammes, which to me, I didn't know how to pronounce it. So Whitney actually called their number this morning, and their answering service picked up, and it said, thank you for calling Lamb's Candies in Austin, Texas. So that's a really poor accent from the South, but yes, Lamb's Candies is how you do pronounce that. And this is a pecan praline. I believe there is a note inside your number 11. It says, warning, sharing not advised. Enjoy this yummy treat from the wonderful state of Texas. It is a chewy slice of heaven packed with crunchy pecans. Want more? Of course you do, for sharing. So you can visit the website down there that shows their different candies, and this one is the pecan praline. So yummy. And if you have a food allergy, then I hope you enjoy sharing it with someone else who is able to eat this, because it is super yummy. Let me show you. Like I said, it is chewy and gooey. I've heard people cutting it up into bite-sized pieces and trying to kind of enjoy them throughout the day. Susan, she succeeds at that, but I usually cut it up with the intention of eating a small piece every so often, and then they're just like one after the other, get eaten and eaten. So let me look at this.
I call it savoring.
I feel like I'm on a food commercial now. So good.
I love the people that did say they shared it with their best friend, because their best friend's gonna love it.
Yes. All right. I am gonna go ahead with number 12 then, while you guys keep talking about how you're eating them now. Debbie says she's from Texas, and these are yummy. Curious, if you are from Texas, have you heard of Lamb's Candies? Or maybe it's new to you down there in Texas as well. All right, next up we have...
With you, she says, just eat it.
Just eat it all. Put it all in your mouth. It is a mouthful, though, to try to eat the whole thing at once. It is a multi-bite candy, I think. That's my recommendation.
That would be my recommendation.
All right, so now we have the washi tape here, and this is X's and O's, so it goes great with all of our Valentine themed items. Let me pull this in here. I have one that's already open so you can see the pattern if you haven't already, and you can see it matches with our fun little clay embellishments that you got. It's got X's and O's in that pattern. I use washi tape for quite a few things. I actually like to put it on envelopes to seal them. I've got one here that I'll show with my other samples in a little bit, but just a little bit of washi across there is fun to seal your envelope. I would also recommend actually like gumming the seal and sealing it, and then also using the washi tape. You don't want your precious goods to come out in the machine or the mail. But yeah, that's one of the things I use washi tape for. It's great on a card to provide a little grounding space, a little pattern at the bottom of your project. So that's an option. It's also lower tack than our teal tape. So I know some people use washi tape for die cutting. If you've got this big long roll and you think, well, I'll never use all that for cards, you can use some of that 10 yards of washi tape for die cutting as well. All right, so then we are on to our last envelope, number 13. You might notice a little bit of a creative wrapping job. Anybody else have anyone in your family that creatively wraps their gifts? No? My dad...
I wrap them, but I feel like it's very traditional the way I wrap.
Yes. I'm talking about creative wrapping in that, like, my dad takes old grocery sacks and just puts the gift in there and, like, wraps it all up. Or, you know, when you have the last little bit of your roll and you're not quite, you've got that smidge that you can't quite cover, so you have to, like, cut an extra piece and put it on there.
I've done that.
Yeah.
But not a grocery bin.
So that was not our intention with this, but we had a little oh no moment when we realized that when I ordered the bags, I forgot that this little goodie doesn't actually fit in the normal size bag.
I haven't opened this one yet.
You haven't yet. So we had to put this little topper on the bag so that it would cover the gift completely. So there you go. Making lemonade from lemons. So glad we were able to do that, but if you were wondering, that wasn't really the intention to have a little topper on the bag, but it worked for you guys. So this is, let's pull this out here, a fun little tool that goes well with these. Also works for your glitters and embossing powders. It is a craft spoon. It's our Share Joy is on there, so it's etched into the spoon, and then it has a dual end that you can use to scoop out your glitter, your powder, your embellishments. If you have like a little, let's see, you want to fill your heart and you're not sure how much you want, you can continue to kind of dig out of your pot. I like to use it for glitter because I don't like to get a lot of glitter out of my container. What were you going to say, Susan?
I just love it for shaker cards because if you do Taylor's version where you have the little opening at the top, it lets you very meticulously put in.
You can scoop your little bits into your shaker element instead of dumping them and then dumping out and then dumping back. You can do like a scoop at a time. So
I love
yeah,
a spoon like that.
love a little craft spoon. And this one's fun. It has a coating on it that makes it look kind of like a rainbow. So it's a little psychedelic. I love it. It's going to look cute in your craft room. So that is what today's gift was. And that is it for this week. We're going to continue opening with number 14 tomorrow, but you won't see me again until next week to open the next week's gifts. So let's get crafty with everything that you received. I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I came up with. So I mentioned how I'm really loving the idea of using these shaker bubbles for candies, and you will notice that I used more than the 4 shaker bubbles that you received in your advent calendar, but I have good news, just a little heads up that you will have access to more of these shaker bubbles in the future very soon, because obviously Valentine's Day is coming up. But I made these cute little candy holders. Look at, I put little jelly beans in there. I may have bought some extra jelly beans so that we could eat them here. Susan's giving me a thumbs up for that.
I'm happy about that. The red ones are all gone though.
Yeah, the red ones were our favorite, so those leftovers are gone. Those are cinnamon flavored. That's a big plus around here. We like the cinnamon. But this is, yeah, those shaker bubbles with some jelly beans in them. We're going to make one of these together today, but I thought it was fun to just do in this fun terrarium-shaped stacklet that we have. Susan, you might have to look up for me because I have forgotten the number of that stacklet. But I have them in a whole rainbow where I just kind of flip-flopped the color that I was using on the jelly beans and the cardstock. So.
14.
Okay, label stacklets 14 is the shape of the stacklet that I used to create this. And then if you flip it over, we have this fun die that we call pull to open. Do you see that little etching in there? It's a perforation so that you can get your thumb or finger underneath there, pull open, and then your jelly beans or whatever candy you have inside can spill out the back, which I think is super fun. So I love that. Okay, so there's a candy idea. Let's show you what I did using that same shaker bubble for a card. So here's my little card that incorporates the heart shaker bubble. You can see that it does stick up off of the card quite a ways, so we already talked about that. If you want to put it in with a bubble mailer or something so that it doesn't get crushed in the mailing process, or put it in a box, or give it with a gift bag, or hand it to your recipient. All of those things are options if you want to use these on cards. And I just used that background, stenciled that, put some cute little clay hearts inside of there, and then our XOXO shaker mix is inside that little heart with a sending hug sentiment on it. So there's a little card option for using those. Now let's take a look at using just the heart stamp. So I told you this was a very simple design, but something you can really use in a lot of different ways. So on this one, you can see it fits perfectly behind that shaker opening. And then on here, I used my Misty to equally space out those 3 hearts. And then I just ended up die cutting and popping up the one in the middle. Really simple, super easy on that one, and could be done in a lot of different colors. I think purples and pinks would be really fun. I was originally going for this because I wanted the overlap of the stamped colors, and while it looked great, it didn't really translate for me, so then I ended up popping this up over the top. But if I was to do it over again, I think I would choose pinks and purples for the 3 colors on there. All right, next
They're
up.
my favorite colors, pink, yellow, and teal.
Yes, yeah, they are. I saw somebody asked if there was a coupon code for the Lamb's candy, and there was not, no. But if you do place an order, please let them know that you came from Tailored Expressions, because we did ask them if they wanted to do some kind of special offer. And so we weren't able to work that out this time, but I know that lots of you guys will love buying those and sharing them. So would love to have you tell them that you came from Tailored Expressions. All right, so this one is the one that we are gonna make today. Look at how fun that is. I wanted to show you a little bit different use for those clay pieces that you got, so you don't have to use them as a shaker. We're gonna see a fun way to create this background using a stencil. I actually blended and then embossed those dots. You can see how they're kind of shiny, and then used the little clay pieces over the top.
Karen's asking what colors you use, but I'm not sure which project she's asking about.
Oh, maybe, I'm guessing maybe the hearts, but this is Lollipop, Pineapple, and Cookie Monster, if that's the one. If not, let me know and I can tell you the other colors that are on here. So when I made this whole rainbow array of my little treat tags, I had to cut out the heart from one of my stamped layers. So I ended up with a little heart in each of those colors, and decided to put this card together using all 6 of my colored hearts. So this was just like a leftovers card. I love leftovers cards. I love leftovers on Thanksgiving. I love leftovers on my cards. So just a creative way to...
I love leftover pecan pralines.
Yeah, Susan, you like leftover pecan pralines? I have these that I touched with my hands, so you're probably not interested.
I have my own.
Yes, so this is one of those cards that's fun because it's just leftover pieces that you had from a different thing, and arranging them in rainbow order, gluing them down. I just popped the yellow one up and put a sentiment on there. So most of the sentiments that I used today, you can see all of my black sentiments with the white embossing. Those all came from Mini Strips Valentine. I had them pre-embossed for the project we're going to be creating, but here's what that set looks like. If you're looking for a good strip sentiment set for Valentine's Day, that one's great. And then the other set that I used for the XOXO here and on these tags, That one is called With Love, and that was a Valentine set I think we released last year. So, yeah, we are going to make this one on the live today, and we're going to make this one. So I'll leave those out so you guys know where we're going. Let's do our treat container first, because I think that's fun.
Charlie says leftovers are for quitters, but...
Leftovers are for quitters. Yeah, we have a lot of quitters in our family then, because I feel like we always have leftovers, but... all right, so I have these pre-die cut. As Susan mentioned, these are from Label Stacklets 14, and we're gonna go ahead and stamp those. I have the background stamp that I used is called Pixie Petals. This is a fun one that just is kind of a really generic, not generic pattern, but not too overwhelming and not occasion based. So I enjoyed using this one. It just entered our catalog, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I think in August. And so I haven't had a lot of opportunity to use it, but I thought it worked great for this project. All right, let's put a little bit of adhesive on my paper, and then it is a pretty tight fit, so I'm gonna make sure that I get it straight on here and arrange that diamond piece, and then press down on that adhesive on the back of my Misty, and then it's gonna be right in the spot that I need it. And then, Charlie, you crack me up. I just saw her comment about how the craft spoon that we gave everyone is a diet spoon. It's so it takes you longer to eat your food.
Smaller plates,
So it'll take you forever to eat your cereal with that spoon, so you won't eat as much. That was not the intention, but that would have been a really funny little write-up for the inside if we had done a little write-up for that one. Okay, so I'm doing tone-on-tone stamping. I have the Cookie Monster ink on the Cookie Monster cardstock, and when that one is done, we can grab that out of the Misty. I had this kind of sitting here, so I thought, well, I'll use that to scoop it off there. Now that I've done one of them, I have a guide for where to put my next diamond piece here, and it just fits right in there. And we'll ink this up one more time. Oh wait, no, I don't need to ink it up another time. The back is plain. I forgot. So we'll keep it easy and set that Misty aside. And now we are going to cut the hole into the front of our shape. That is the heart die that you received that coordinates perfectly with those heart bubbles. So if you want to be able to use one of the bubbles, you're going to use this heart shape to cut into whatever you're putting the bubble into. And I'll grab my die cut machine here.
Are you still doing good? Are you cold?
Oh no, if you're cold and you want to turn it off, I'm good.
No, it's you. It's like the driver picks the radio station. That's my mom's rules. So you pick. Just checking.
I'm okay. Behind all these lights, it kind of does get warm. Yeah. So I feel not cold, but if you are cold, you can turn it off. Okay.
Checking it.
All right, so I just position that there, and this is one of those leftovers that you'll want to save so you can make something out of it. Isn't that a cute pattern on that heart? I like it. Okay, so before we put the die cut machine away, I had showed you on the back so that people can get the candy out of the container. We have this little die that's called Pull to Open, and it creates the perforation with a little tab for you to get the candy out. Now, to make sure you have your little pull to open in the right spot, we're going to place that die cut piece over the top, and then I'm going to grab the die here. It is sold separately. It's just one single little die like this. It also works with our circular shaped bubbles, and so it has multiple uses, and I'm just going to take that and place it perfectly inside here. And then the great thing about this is if you've chosen a symmetrical shape to put your shaker bubble into, once you die cut this, you can just flip the piece over so that you have your right side facing out. You know how the die looks different on each side of the cardstock. So this is the right facing way. This would be not quite right. So you want to do the nice looking side on the back of your piece. So this is how we're going to end up putting it together. And I can now move my die cut machine out of the way.
You got us so smart on that one.
Okay, so let's take one of the bubbles. And I have my Susan sorted our green jelly beans here. I don't know what flavor they are because quite honestly, when I was buying jelly beans, I was going for, okay, if I don't want to touch them, we could scoop them out with our little craft spoon.
My favorite thing is you said you put them in the bag in rainbow order.
I did.
That was my favorite comment.
When I picked them out at the store, I put them in the bag in rainbow order. They didn't stay that way.
I was going to say, this is the bag.
Yeah, I had to resort them out when I got done, even though they didn't know they were supposed to stay in rainbow order. All right, so we're gonna put that bubble then into the opening, and then this is gonna come around the top, and we're gonna seal it. So I think it hasn't been too tough for me to get this peel this little backing paper off, but if you need to use a die pick to get that off, that's an option too. And then I've been using liquid glue to add additional adhesive around the outside of my heart bubble. There are a couple spots where it gets kind of close to the edge, so you do want to just make sure you have enough adhesive around there. And I don't want to drop it because it's full of jelly beans, so let's try not to do that. Okay. The glue also gives me just a little bit of time to kind of wiggle room to position it right in place before it cements itself.
There's an interesting thought. Someone said from the advent calendar last year, could you use the zipper pull one?
Oh.
You could almost.
I think you might be able to.
Depending on what you
It would go all the way off of your paper and actually cut over in this direction instead of staying in the middle because it's one long line.
Yeah.
But you could try that.
What you thinking?
Yeah. All right, so there we go. Press that down and you've got your cute little candy container all finished. I want to add a little tag on here, so I'm just going to take a regular sized hole punch and kind of pop a hole into the top of this. I didn't want to get my hole too close to the top, but the great part about this is we're using something that we have already received in the advent calendar. This is the tag die from last week, and I thought it really goes well with the shape that I chose for this candy because it has the same kind of angles on it. So I'm going to set this up in my Misty.
What's the name of that little pull tab though? Die?
It's pull to open.
Pull to open. I think it was treat inside or something like that.
Yeah, I think it, yep, I'm pretty sure it's pull to open.
It is.
Okay.
Open. I'm gonna touch it.
All right, so the tag we're going to make for this one, it says just for you, and I need my black insert because we're going to be using some clear stamps for this. Okay, I'll still put that over the top here. And I have a little, I'm going to put it down in the corner and kind of push it in there with my magnet. Now this little set is called the Berry Best. It had a good sized heart in it that was a solid heart, so I'm going to grab that. We're not going to use that quite yet. And then the other set for the sentiment, This one is called Essential Sentiments, and it had the perfectly sized Just For You in it. And I also, on some of the tags, used the XOXO from With Love. So if you like that look, that's where that one came from. I'll go ahead and put the Just For You on here, center it on my tag, and then we'll pick that up and stamp it with VersaFine Clair. Perfect. Take that one off. I'm gonna let it dry just a second. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of heat just before I move on with the other color. Usually if I'm doing this on my own, I do several of the tags at once, and then they're usually dry by the time I do the next step. So you don't have to heat set. I'm just doing that so that I can move on a little more quickly.
Do you have any idea when you're releasing the bubbles?
Do I have any idea? I have an idea.
Oh, but we're not saying. Okay,
No,
sorry.
we can, it's okay.
Okay, sorry.
I can let everyone know because it is coming up really soon. So our Valentine release is always our first release of the new year. So we'll be releasing these heart bubbles with our Valentine release, and there will be some more fun things to use with them at that time too. So we like to give you some brand new products. A lot of the things in our advent calendar have never been seen before, which I think is it's a fun perk. And some of them will come out and some of them may not ever come out. So those of you that got the advent calendar get that special exclusivity with some of the things. And then some of those items that you want to be able to use more of, like the consumable items, those often do come out later, so you can continue using the products you received and just might need some extra shaker bubbles or shaker bits, those kind of things. All right, so there's our tag. I stamped that little heart in the center of the sentiment. It says Just For You. And then I have a little bit of the baker's twine, just some black and white baker's twine. Anybody else feel like a baker's twine collector?
Yes. But like I said, my black and white is almost gone.
Yes. Yep. I do use the black and white quite often, but I love all of the colors. All right, so I'm just going to tie this on with a little bow. And depending on how you're giving it or what you're tying it onto, you could tie it onto a gift bag or just set it on a coworker's desk just like this. Let's tease my bow a little bit, make the loops a little bit more normal sized, and we'll trim off these ends one more time, and ta-da! We have our cute little container with the opening in the back to get the candies out. Love it! Okay, now let's make a card with some of the other things we received in the Advent this time. I am going to start with maybe something that you haven't thought of doing before, but we are going to use a stencil to emboss those polka dots onto the background. One of my favorite stencils that we have, I think it's one of our oldest stencils. It is our oldest stencil. Do you know what the item number is? It's TESN01.
Oh,
So
wow.
it has been around since the very beginning of stencils at TE and still one of the ones that I love using. It's just a very nice polka dot. It's called Polka Party, and I am Stencil 1. I love that.
Amazing.
I love that for us.
I love that.
I am going to tack my paper down to my glass board. And then this is a little different than what you would normally do because we're going to emboss this design. I want to powder my paper. So usually when I'm stenciling, I don't powder my paper because I typically don't emboss my stenciled designs. But you can, and it's going to turn out really fun. So we're going to place that stencil over the top, just centering it in there. And as I'm doing this, Susan, I'm remembering that am going to need my A2 layer stacklets to cut this down once I've finished blending.
On it.
Thank you. Okay, so I've got my black, actually this is a gray blender brush, but it's going to work for my black ink. And we're going to blend with VersaFine Clair. So this goes on the stencil really smoothly, and it stays wet a little bit longer than the normal dye-based inks that we offer. And so that is what allows us to emboss over the top of this design with clear embossing powder. Now I'm not gonna try to get all the way over to the edges here because, like I just told Susan, I need my layer stacklets so that I can cut this design down a little bit. And we're not gonna need to have those edges all the way in there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm getting this nice and dark black. And this is something that we often do with sentiments. We'll stamp them in VersaFine Clair and then emboss with clear embossing powder. And I just think it's something that I don't think of all the time when I'm doing stencil blending. But I wanted to really make these dots pop by adding that extra
I'm pretty sure it's
step.
the only way to make a sentiment.
Yeah, Susan says it's the only way to make a sentiment by stamping it in black and embossing with clear. You will, if you see Susan's cards in person, they are all, yep, about 95%. Yep. And we do.
Say it's the only way to make a black sentiment.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, colored sentiments have a different process. You do want to move kind of quickly because while this does stay wet, it doesn't stay wet forever. It is a faster drying than like a Versamark pad, but I'm just going to give it one more nice go over the whole design. Thank you. We're going to pull this up. Loved using those magnets. Look at that nice crisp black on there. Susan brought me the little piece of scratch paper that I need. So we'll pick this up and take my clear embossing powder, which made its way over by the praline. I don't know why. Okay.
It's one place for it.
I kind of like to dump it on there and then let it kind of fall off the other side and get my whole paper embossed. So we'll tap that off. The great thing about using this clear embossing powder is it won't show up in those white areas. Black embossing powder, ick. You're gonna see all of those flyaway pieces that maybe the powder tool didn't take off of your cardstock. So
Ranks right up there with glitter.
yeah, Susan likes it just about as much as she likes glitter. Okay, so let me go ahead before we emboss this. I am gonna wash my little surface here. Get that ink because it is a wetter ink. I don't want to get it on my project, so. Or on my fingers because then inevitably it ends up on my project. Okay. Let's get this heated up. You'll be able to see these turn to a nice shiny black. All right, it's starting to get a little close to my fingers, so we'll think I got all of the dots. It's good to hold it up to the light and kind of move back and forth. You can see you do have the ability to underheat it. What embossing powder looks like, clear embossing powder, when it's underheated, it just looks dusty instead of glossy. So that's maybe a little tip I can give you. If you're not happy with the way your embossing looks, you might just need to hit it with a tiny bit more heat. And you can really see the glossiness as you move it across your light source. And if it looks dusty or not quite shiny, then just hit it with a little bit more heat. All right, let's take that A2 layer stacklet then. I'm gonna figure out what size I had this cut to, because I didn't do that ahead of time. That's too small, so it must be the next one up from that. Love these A2 layer stacklets because you get to perfectly center your design after you have stenciled it or whatever you've done. If you've stamped it and you want a perfect centering option, use the layer stacklets for that. And we'll get this back out here. So what's on everybody's plans today? What's on your to-do list? Heading out to do some shopping. There is a shopping area in Ankeny that most people go to, and the name of the street is Delaware. And it's become just kind of like a town joke, like don't go to Delaware in December.
No.
Unless you really need to.
Yeah, and you have a lot of time.
I know. And now I just keep thinking about that over and over as I have to go to Delaware. Yep. It's time. I've avoided Delaware in December so far, and now I can't avoid it any longer. So that's on my to-do list this weekend. It's been
that way for years.
Yes, it is. Ankeny has grown so much that they have had a hard time keeping up with traffic flow in some of those busier retail areas. There's not room to really expand the road, and yeah, so it's crazy.
And everything is there. Like there's so much
Yes, that's where all of our shopping and restaurants and everything is. And then, isn't there a funny t-shirt or something that talks about crossing Delaware?
Oh.
Yeah, there is a funny ray gun t-shirt that talks about crossing Delaware in Ankeny. I know. You don't try to cross it. You have to turn left or right, preferably right. All right, so there we have that cut down for you guys, and waiting to see what all of you are doing this weekend. We also have some volleyball. Our girls have started club volleyball, and so it's time for them to have their first a scrimmage tournament. So they have 3 different games this weekend. That's where we'll be. Butts in bleachers when they should be on Delaware getting Christmas gifts, but no worries. It all works out. Santa always makes it. All right, so I'm gonna start putting some of these into place, and this process does take a little bit of time. So Susan, if you could, while my head is down gluing things,
yes.
If you could tell me, what are some people saying about their weekend, or what are you doing?
I'm just replying to one that sounds so sweet. Gail's having lunch with a crafty friend.
Oh, yay. It is a good time of year to get together with your crafty friends, and I know I was helping someone in the studio the other day who wanted to buy gifts, little gifts for all of her crafty friends, and she was picking out handy holders, which I told her was such a nice gift to give.
We got Trisha, she's doing the same, and Whitney gets to go out on date night.
Whitney? Our Whitney?
Yes.
Oh.
Didn't you see her toss beautiful hair
Oh,
today?
I hadn't heard it was date night. I forgot another thing. Can you bring me the white clay stars? I forgot that I had mixed those in with this for just another color option. So I'm using...
They're over here.
Did you find them?
No, I found hearts though. Do you need those?
That's what I need. The white clay hearts.
I swear you said stars.
Did I say stars?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me know, anyone. If
Anybody
I'm
know,
hearing
did I
wrong,
say
which
stars or
one?
did
Now
I say
wanna
hearts?
know. What did we say? Is my head crazy that I put stars in?
Well, we do also have white clay stars, so
Yeah.
one of us either said it wrong or heard it wrong. I don't know.
That's right. Luckily, it was easy to find those.
All right, so I like to lay out each row before I commit to gluing it down, but I did learn this lesson the hard way yesterday because I was gluing them down or I was laying them down, not gluing them, and then I thought they were glued down, so I lifted up my whole piece and all of them ran off. So I had to do it all over again. So today, instead, we're going to do one row at a time, and
Thank you, Barbara. You said stars.
I did. Oh shoot.
I don't care.
I meant hearts. I see. It's like you say things, you know what you mean, but you need a mind reader.
Oh no, I wouldn't have put it by me to hear the wrong thing.
All right.
Because I do that to you all the time, right?
Yeah, I forget now what your name for easy strips is. Do you always call them simple strips?
Yep, all the time. That's
Yeah.
why I said nope.
Yeah, we get things going in our brains and then they just stay there that way.
What I love about when you ask me for things, I and my music band instructor complained about me doing this all the time. I don't realize something's missing until I'm there. Like, he was always like, you have to read your music forward. Even though you're playing here, you have to be looking on to the next thing. I was never very good at band, so shocking, right? But like yesterday with the clear block, I didn't realize it till I was there. You're like, I'm realizing now I don't have.
Thinking
so,
ahead.
Yes, you're really, on it.
Okay, well, you can see this does take a little bit of time, but I think the effort it's worth the effort, so. And this glue press makes it really easy. You can see I don't have to put down my tools at all. I can just drop the glue, pick up a little embellishment, and be on my way here.
Sally is celebrating 50 years of marriage this weekend. Isn't that
Sally,
wonderful?
congratulations. So what are you guys doing? You coming to Iowa?
EC's is seeing her mom and a whole bunch of other things.
Aww.
There's all kinds of good things going on here.
Fun.
I have to, Christmas parties. Eva has one. I think EC said she had one too. Her weekend sounds busy. I have to say, I don't know about you, I don't have anything like on the schedule. I mean, besides going to church.
And Delaware. No, that's the
I am not going to Delaware. I might have to stop
Susan won't be joining me on
no.
Delaware this weekend.
I might swing by Friday tonight on the way home, but no, then I'm gonna not come here.
Yeah, I'm already trying to finagle how to get out of it. Where could I go to get the things I need that is not there? But I don't know.
There's also cute spots in the district, and then
yeah,
that kind of stuff. But
I need to go to Target.
Yeah.
I could go to Grimes.
What else are you? Going to Grimes is it. What are your plans besides that?
Well, just the volleyball tournament for the girls. And then
all at the same time, both of them. You said.
Yes, all 3 matches are at the same time, so I have to pick and choosy who I'm going to be able to watch. I'm kind of hopeful that they'll be on courts nearby each other, so I can like stand in the middle of the 2 courts and watch both of them. We'll see. Should be fun. Excited about that.
Do you coach from the stands?
No.
Good.
Nope.
Good for you.
I do yell, but not coach. That's different.
Yeah, Yeah, it is.
I cheer. I shouldn't say yell. I cheer. And yeah.
Sorry, and Stacy's making me feel bad. Her project for the weekend is she's making January birthday cards.
Oh, good job, you.
Job. I have to make tags, Christmas tags. That I do need to do this weekend.
You know the other thing I want to do this weekend, but who knows if it will happen with all the other things. Rolo pretzel making.
Oh.
Yes, our family tradition. Every year we make many batches of Rolo pretzels where you just take the Rolo candy, put it on top of the pretzel, melt it in the oven, and then press an M&M or a pecan into the top, whatever our family does M&Ms, and then we usually give those out to neighbors and teachers and that kind of stuff. Did you guys just see that? Was that on camera? I tried to take the lid to my bits and pieces and put it on my glue bottle.
I missed it. I was looking at comments.
Yeah, I did that. Mary loves Rolo pretzels.
I wish I could think of something like instead of pecans. Like one year I tried the roasted salted pecan, so I got more salty sweet.
Yeah.
That was yummy. Different flavor though when they're roasted.
All right, we're gonna do a little splattering. So in comes my splatter box, and you can do this splattering before or after you adhere the little clay dots. I've tried it both ways. I was worried that the splatter might not dry on top of the clay dots, but it does. So I did it this way this time. And I have my Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star. And we'll put a little bit of that on our glass board that you guys got. The mini glass board last week was part of the advent calendar. So I put that splatter on there, the splatter medium, and then I have my well-used brush. It's chipping paint off of it, but that's okay. Still functions. I wonder if anybody else has those craft supplies in their room that like probably need to be replaced, but they still function. So
I noticed that.
It's like, I don't want to throw a perfectly good brush away just because it has the paint cracked off of it.
Especially for splattering.
Right.
Like for watercoloring, maybe.
Maybe.
You know, but I don't know, just because you hold it for longer.
All right, this black is kind of stubborn, I'll call it. It's stubborn to clean up, and so I try to remember to wipe off my black right after I use it, because you can even see like I'm gonna need to use just a little bit of elbow grease to get the kind of outer rim of the medium off of there. So it'll come off, just it'll take you longer to get it off if you let it dry on there. So there's our little splattered panel. Now while this is drying, we're gonna stamp our XOXO. And I've got my Misty for that. This is the XOXO heart. I don't need the black pad since it's a rubber stamp. And when you get to using yours, just remember, peel that backing paper off of the back, and that's gonna reveal the cling mount underneath, and that's what sticks to your Misty lid, or whatever your stamp alignment tool is. And I'll grab my white cardstock, stamp this on white. I am going to use Cherry Pop ink. There's that. You're going to see the beauty of a rubber stamp here in just a moment, because we're going to get a beautifully stamped image first time out of the gate. Here's my press tool.
I agree.
Look at that.
Love red rubber.
And you can do it over again, so I'll go ahead and get that one more time so we get a nice crisp red. Just like my nails.
True. So true.
Okay, now let's go ahead and cut this out. I told you guys that I would have a little tip for you, because that heart die is the same size as the stamp, it can be a little tricky to get it perfectly in place. So what I have made and been using so far is just a little cardstock template. I took a scrap of cardstock in a different color. I would recommend using something other than white cardstock or other than the color that you've stamped it on, because it's going to be easier to kind of line up your heart. So just take that negative, line it up perfectly around your stamped heart, and then tack the paper template into place, and then take your die and place it inside of that, and then you'll send this entire piece through the die cut machine. I think this is my last die cutting for the day, and I haven't lost my clear pads yet. There's the top one.
Is that your most lost tool? Most often?
Yes. Well, I don't lose it, but I just set it weird places because, you know, when you're getting your die cut piece out, it's like you want to get to the good stuff and you just toss that top plate aside. And then, where did I put it this time? Behind me? Across from me? I don't know. All right, we'll pop that out, and you can see we have that XOXO die cut. I did already die cut another heart, so the same heart I die cut with black glitter cardstock, and I'm gonna offset this just a teeny bit so that we can have like a little bit of a shadow on there. You can offset it either direction. I'm gonna offset it this way this time. And I'll go ahead and adhere that down with some glue. Okay, that just adds a little something, not a lot. I didn't want to put a whole layer behind my heart because I want to be able to see as much of those cute little clay pieces that I had in the background. Now I wanted to show you another use for a tool that some of you received. If you pre-ordered our advent calendar, then you got this. We talked about it last week. You received this little corner punch, a corner rounder. It has a small, medium, and large. I'm going to use the medium, and we're just going to stick our paper in there and do a little crunch. It looks like some of my little clay dots are not fully adhered, so maybe if you're making this, do the corner rounding prior to adding your clay dots, but it's working. It's working fine.
Oh, fine, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's all good. And then also you can corner round your card base as well to match that. You can see I did that on the card here. And this is the folded end, which does fit. You have to kind of just push it a little bit to get it in there. And then it will go through 2 layers of cardstock. I would not try to put more than 2 layers of cardstock in here though. And then I'm going to, actually I don't think I got that one quite all the way. There we go. Nope, okay. There, I got you. Then I'm gonna go ahead and open this up so that this is just 1 layer. It is an easier punch there. And then do the other ends as well. All right. We're almost there. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I think instead of using my tape runner, I'm going to use my glue press here to put a little bit of glue on the back. Ooh. Knocking things over. We're at the tornado stage of the project here.
Did you see the? You probably didn't see it after I was done with my live yesterday.
No.
I made 2 cards. It was just stuff everywhere.
Everywhere, I know. It happens really fast.
Yep.
I don't know. And I'm not, well, no, I am a messy crafter. I was going to try to say that I'm not really a messy crafter. No, I am. I get going on kind of moving forward in the excitement of my project, and then I disregard the cleanup part of things because my brain is just excited to move on to the fun of seeing where this idea is going to go. All right, I'm popping this up with foam tape over the top. And then we're going to use another one of the sentiments from the Mini Strips Valentine stamp that I already have embossed. So we'll pick a different one. This one says, "I love you so much." Okay, I got all those off. Position that here. And then let's do XOXO, I adore you, or I don't have a card yet for my sweetheart. So we might do that. Coming your way, John.
It'll be our little secret.
It's okay, he doesn't watch the lives, so it will remain a secret until Valentine's Day. There it is. 2 of them. Cute. All right, let me bring back all the projects, and I will get a picture of these and get them out on the fan page so you guys can see them. Of course, we got to put these in rainbow order: red, pink, orange, yellow, green, blue. I skipped purple. We didn't talk about that earlier, but I did. Then we've got this lovely. Okay. This lovely had an envelope with it, with the little, there we go. Now we have this one. And last, our rainbow hearts. That was a lot of projects.
Yes.
We didn't make all of them together today, but a few of them, and hopefully gave you guys some ideas on how to use these products from the Advent calendar. I'd love to hear what was your favorite from the week, and I'm going to catch you guys up on what's coming here at TE in the coming week. So next week, I will be here Tuesday. We have a new release to share. I will be introducing a new illustrator. So we have a new illustrator joining our team, and she has some really fun designs, and so we're going to have one stamp from a new illustrator next week, so tune in on Tuesday for that. And then let's see, Thursday next week, is it you or Heather?
It's Heather.
Heather next week. Okay, so next week, Thursday at 10, mark your calendar. Heather will be doing another live with a fun project. And then also Friday next week. This coming Friday next week, a week from today, will be our last Advent calendar live. You will get a pre-recorded video for the following week, since that is the week of Christmas. And so you'll get an email and a craft along with me. It just won't be live. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for what's coming up in the near future. So mark your calendars and join us. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. If you have to go to your version of Delaware this weekend, I wish you all good luck.
Everyone has.
Yes, get out there, finish up your shopping, and we'll see you next week on Tuesday.